Hey, welcome back to another episode of Veterans Rant, Rattle, and Roll. Sergeant First Class Retired David L. Parker, your host today. It is my extreme excited pleasure to have on Sergeant First Class Retired, Kevin Sabata. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing great, Battle. How about yourself?
Yeah, I can't complain. Thanks. So, welcome to Veterans Rant, Rattle, and Roll, where we're going to go ahead and work to build a community together. Kevin's come on to help us. Of trying to stop 22. I just want to let everybody know listening, I found an amazing Facebook page this week called Prevent 22. I hope everybody out there will jump on there and support that group because it's all about working together. So, all right, Kevin, let's jump right into this. So, what brought you in the Army, Kevin?
Well, I just figured that so long story short, originally was going to do the National Guard in Nebraska. I was still going to college at the time. And so basically, I did want to join the service, but I just wanted to stay, in Nebraska. But then when I was going through college, I figured out, you know what, it's like as much as I love Nebraska, there was really for me there was nothing really to offer there, as far as jobs or anything like that at the time. And my recruiter says, well, why don't you just go active duty? And I was just pondering about it, and then I came to the conclusion, it's like, you know what, that isn't a half bad idea. So instead of going National Guard, I just went active duty, and it was definitely a good choice.
Awesome. Did you graduate college?
Yes, yeah, I had an associate's degree before I went in the Army, and so and what decided for me to pick my career, well, not my career, but my job. So I was going to college for cooking because I wanted to be a cook, and at a young age, it's like, oh, well, I was thinking, it's like, well, I can go cook on cruise ships or, do all this fun stuff. And then, that changed when I realized I went to AIT, and basically everything was cook in a bag and go out in the field. And at the time, the Iraq War was kicking off, and so they postponed the cooking competitions at Fort Lee and all that stuff. And I was actually nominated to go to Fort Lee to do the cooking challenges, but they canceled them, at the height of the, OIF. So
wow. So you got into AIT and discovered you weren't going to be Chef Sabata?
correct.
Ah. Doesn't take a chef to throw a bag in boiling water?
It does not. So it takes common sense and directions, and that's really about it. So
whoa, common sense. Where in the heck did you get that from?
I don't know. So
so your entire career you were DFAC cookish?
No. So once I realized, and this was when I was in Iraq from 2005 to 2006, I realized at that point, it's like, I can do other things in the Army just, than cooking. And at that time, I wasn't for sure if I was going to stay in. But then when I enlisted, I told myself, you know what, I'm going to do, other things than just, be in the DFAC and just be a cook all my life, for my potential career. And I started to, better myself as far as taking classes online. I started, just doing extra things to, boost my record. And so I went to the board in Iraq. I was promotable when I came back from Iraq in 2006. It took me a long time to pick up my E5, but after that, I kind of fast tracked. I wasn't a cook for very long. As soon as I picked up my E5, good old recruiting came down and say, hey, we want you to be a recruiter. So I was picked to be a recruiter in 2008, and then I was, a detailed recruiter for those 3 years. At that time,
where'd you go? Where'd you recruit at?
Topeka, Kansas. I actually picked Kansas to as one of my duty stations because, you know, it's just like Nebraska. And I thought, well, you know what, I can do a lot of good. And I did. I don't like to, you know, boast my own horn or toot my own horn, as they say. But I was a damn good recruiter. I could sell a drowning man water. So,
So how many people did
and
you
then
help enlist?
say again.
How many people did you bring into our Army?
I brought in 125 recruits in my 3-year time span.
All right, let's quantify that. Is 125 really good, mediocre? What does that mean to us non-recruiters?
That's really good. That's really good. It's really good when the sergeant major of the 5th recruiting battalion comes down and recognizes me as one of the top recruiters in the battalion, in the Kansas City battalion, and as far as the 5th recruiting brigade area.
So if I'm doing my math right,
I was in the top 10.
averaging. If I'm doing my math right, you were averaging 4 a month.
Yes.
Because 36-ish times 4, 36 months. Well, that's outstanding.
Yes.
So did you get the gold badge?
Yes, I got the gold badge, and at the time, I was 25 points shy of getting the recruiter ring, but they shut that off right before I got it. So I wasn't able to get my recruiter ring. Otherwise, I would have got my recruiter ring.
Hey, so why didn't you transition over to being a full-time recruiter? What's that, 79 Romeo?
Yes, it was 79 Romeo. So I don't like to speak ill will, but this time I will.
Okay.
My first sergeant at the time in Topeka he basically failed me. I submitted my packet to transition over or reclass into a 79 Romeo, and I sent my packet to him, and he didn't submit it in time. And at the time, and when he finally did, I finally came up on I came up on orders to come to Fort Carson, and there was nothing. I couldn't stop my orders, to come to Carson. I couldn't extend, to Topeka or anything like that. So he failed me, and I don't. Again, I don't like to speak ill will of people sometimes, but
it happened.
At this time, he basically failed me.
Right, it happened. So once you came down on orders, there's no chance to ever go back. It's over. It's like one and done kind of thing, or what?
Yeah, I mean, at the time, so I was a staff sergeant, and as soon as I came to Carson, I put my packet again, and there was just a whole lot going on when I came to Carson. I was expected to go down range to Afghanistan because when I came to Carson in 2011 of December, the rear first sergeant says that, hey, don't get too comfortable, because we're sending you downrange to Afghanistan, except for prepare to go Afghanistan. And then when I came off of TDY, the first sergeant said, hey, we're not sending you because what's that? It's not stop loss, but they stopped sending troops over to Afghanistan.
Okay.
So I basically, stop move. Thank you. So basically, I started working in the 3 shop, at STB. And then, so I did resume putting my packet together. And then by that time, I was on the sequence number to be looked at for Sergeant First Class. And so it makes it a little bit hard as a Sergeant First Class to get picked up as a 79 Romeo.
Sure, because of the allocations. That makes a lot of sense. All right, cool. So you served how long?
I served 13 years.
And you were medically retired due to situations.
Yes, yeah, and it doesn't. We can talk about that as well. So when I was in Iraq, I was having some intestinal issues, And so how I found out about this is because when I was in Iraq, I was putting together my green to gold packet because I wanted to, at the time, transition over to the other side as become, a young officer. And
Sure, makes sense.
so when I did my physical, they found bleeding, internal bleeding, and that's how I found out I had my Crohn's disease. So,
Ah, okay.
and then it was just a matter of time of what was going to be done with me, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to transition over to become a recruiter, is because as much as I wanted to deploy downrange with my battle buddies, I knew I was going to be okay in recruiter land because I didn't have to deploy. So,
Right. No, I
and,
makes sense. That makes
and
sense.
then when I left, or when I was at Carson, and in 2012, I had this, how should I say, ignorant PA that basically said, "Oh, well, you're Sergeant First Class, and you need to deploy, and we're not, you're on a immunosuppressant medication, and basically you're not gonna, go any further in your career." And that's when he decided to put together the med board packet improperly. There's a lot of steps involved in being med boarded. And my
Okay.
packet was streamlined, and so uh, I could have at that time medically reclassed if the PA would have done the procedures properly, but he didn't. And so I fought everything. I appealed. I even went to Fort Lewis. They have the MRB, or I'm sorry, the EB evaluation. I pled my case. I even, and at the time, I was so distraught with everything that was going on. And I think you know this as well. I went to the Armed Times and pled my case because I I was an individual. Again, I don't like to toot my own horn or anything like that, but in my MOS, I made Sergeant First Class in less than 10 years.
Right.
That says something.
Sure
I
does.
mean, and for this pathetic Army PA tell me that I wasn't worth anything, I couldn't exceed in my career or do anything else, just kind of, you know, basically gave me a sore taste in my mouth. And basically, as we all know, he gave me the green weenie, and I didn't like that. And I'm a person that I fight for myself, as much as I can. And I wrote an article into Army Times. They did an article with me thinking that I would get some headway, but I basically the Army Board of Appeals came back and said you're not physically fit to be in the Army anymore. So I found out my fate in December, or in 2014. Yeah, 2014, and I was medically retired.
Right. Did your article in Army Times did it get published?
Yeah, it got published, and it got published. It got published. There was a
Huh.
lot of and it's really surprising um, that it goes to show how your personal information is out there on the web, and because I was getting phone calls in support of my issue, saying, hey, we stand with you. I think that I had a retired sergeant major. I didn't even know him. He read my article, and he called me up and he said, "Hey, is there anything I can do for you?" It's like, "Yeah, try to get me back in the Army." And he did, and it was no dice. I had a major that was still in the Army contact me because he had the same issue as me as well, and it's just weird of who they pick and choose of who they want in and out.
Right.
So
on the topic of getting
maybe
back,
I ruffled feathers. I don't know.
yeah. On the topic of getting back in, aren't you working on something like that now too?
Yes. So when I retired, when I medically retired in the Army, I had to wait 2 years because there's a time period that you have to wait. And so I waited, but by that time, my condition was worsened. And so I had to have surgery in 2017 because my crones was so inflamed. It was to the point that if I didn't have surgery, I wouldn't be speaking to you right now. It was that bad. And
Wow.
to explain layman's terms, basically what Crohn's disease is basically, let's imagine a straw that is in the water and it gets, it just sits there over time and the moss and, particles just clump the hole. And so, but basically what was happening is my intestines were slowly getting
Closing.
smaller, not letting in food. And it was just, I was vomiting and, throwing everything up.
Wow.
So I
How
had
you
to
doing
have
now?
that affected part removed, for me to survive.
So how you doing now?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm in full remission. I still have to use the medication that, got me out in the first place. So that kind of set back my time period as far as trying to get back into the National Guard. So right now I'm in the process of, building my packet again, as I was a enlistee, with everything, favor letters, recommendations, and stuff like that. And like I told you before we recorded, at least if I try and they say no, I have the mind or the mindset that I tried, and that will make me feel more at ease, because at this, before this, I really thought that I basically got jarded as far as, my career in the Army. And I think I still could have been serving in some point, in way as far as, saving my career. So,
Sure. Makes sense.
and then, like I said, if they say no, well then that's okay. That's okay. I tried.
Right. And I applaud you for trying. I really do. So we've basically put rattle and rant right together. You've definitely been through some stuff, but looking at you, you look like you're
Yeah.
doing pretty good to me. You still got a smile on your face. Well, at least when you decide to
Yeah.
smile.
Well,
Do you at least have a
yeah.
roll on the floor funny story for us?
Say again?
Do you at least have some kind of funny story, something we can roll on the floor a little bit about?
Well, it's not really a funny story, but it's a godsend. The one thing that happened that was good
All right.
after me transitioning out of the Army is I met my future wife. I'm Lisa. So we've been married. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Don't say sorry, Kevin.
She's the godsend, because we've been married, 2 wonderful years. we now have an awesome son, and so that's one thing I do look for. That I do look that I am grateful for, because if it was for her, I don't know. I mean, I don't honestly. I think I would be here if it was for Lisa, because it was my life before Lisa was it is it's just basically that's it. It was a life. Now, granted, I do have a wonderful job. I do work for VA. I have the privilege of helping veterans with their disability claims.
Exactly
And
what do you
so
do?
that gives me some sort of, look to the future as far as career-wise. I am going back to school to finish my bachelor's degree in logistics management, because the VA is the stepping stone in my career. I don't know. I stay with the VA because there's lots of logistical jobs in the VA, but I just want to have a lot of opportunities out there as far as working on something I know that will that I'm very eligible in. I mean, everything we do is done in logistics as far as everyday life. So whether it's the simple thing as going to work, or just day life. I mean, everything's a logistical planning. So we just
Sure.
don't know it.
So obviously in your time in the Army, you went through some dark times personally. You went through some really tough times, some goals taken away from you, some blocks put in front of you. And since we're building a community to try to
Yep.
stop 22, being that you went through so much stuff, I mean, you joined up, you went through all that stuff, you got a block here, a block there, and then next thing you know, you're out. What would you say to your fellow veterans that are struggling right now? That a message to maybe get them to not leave, to keep on serving with us, Kevin. What would you say?
I would say, continue, just fight for yourself, because honestly, it when it boils down to it, and when it comes to the end of the day, you are your only person to look out for. As much as your chain of command is out there to look out for you and provide for you, it is your job and your responsibility to fight for yourself, because and I've had a lot of individuals to this day message me on Facebook Messenger. It's like, hey, are you this guy that was kicked out of the Army? And I said yes. And I said, you just keep on fighting, no matter how much it just beats you down. You just got to pick yourself up and continue to fight. Whether it's something like I went through, or something else, you just got to fight for yourself.
Don't even worry about it. Technology is technology, right? Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not.
Yeah. But as I was saying, to those individuals out there that are going through some dark times, just find somebody to latch onto, because that's what I did. Like I said, Lisa is a godsend. She has made me see the other side of just being focused on what is other than being in the Army. And don't get me granted, as much as I enjoy my life, I still miss it. 13 years, that's the only thing I've known. You can't take that out after 13 years. And you know as well as I do, it's a hard transition.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 year, 13 years, 30 years, 22 years. You go from having a connection and a family all around you all the time, some great times, some tough times, and then boom, you're on your own. So if you're out there and you're struggling, listen to what Kevin went through, and here he is, smiling, brand new wife, two-year wife, brand new baby. And he told me before we came on today he had to change shirts because he got holy water on the shirt from the baby. That's freaking awesome. And all that stuff wouldn't have happened, Kevin, if you'd have gave into the darkness, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Or if I still would have been, again, if I would have been in the Army, I would have never met Lisa, because
Right.
we've discussed this, and I told her, about my career and my past, and what was going on with me. And she basically said, it's like, if I was active duty, I would not be with her. So I'm just grateful that I found her, and we've, like I said, we've been together 2 years. We've had some hard times already, but it's something that that everybody's got to work on individually and as far as a couple. So no
Sure.
marriage is perfect. I know, like I said, I'm a newbie at this. I can't. I don't remember how many years you and Peg have been married, but as long as I take bits and pieces from every married couple and just try to make it our own, well, then that's all I got to do.
Right.
I mean, whether we disagree or agree on stuff, it is what it is, because we have this wonderful baby boy that we got to take care of now. So
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, Peg and I are 10 years married, and we live by one rule. When we're pissed off, we're mad at the situation, not each other.
yep.
That's how we survived many years of me being in the Army and senior NCO and all the stuff you go through. You know what I'm talking about. Most of the people listening to
Yep.
this probably have a good idea what that's like. But yeah, that's a
Yep.
great thing. And I can't tell you enough. Thanks for being so raw. Don't ever apologize for getting that flushed in the face and shedding a tear over something that's that impactful on your life, Kevin. You have been through a lot of stuff.
Well,
And here you are, still kicking and on
you,
here willing to share with other vets, brother. That's awesome.
yeah, you know my situation. I mean, so I'm not that kind of person. I mean, and what we've been going through in the last 4 months is just, I don't know. I can't imagine. I just can't put my head around what has gone on in the last 4 months. And this is one of the situations that just saddens me, as far as we as a nation, or everybody, has just got to come together some way, somehow, and try to not be divided. I mean,
Sure.
and this is another thing. When I was in the Army, I didn't see any color. I saw individuals with great ideas, great aspiration, and then I saw individuals that just wanted to be there just to be there. And you know what? You just got to deal with those individuals accordingly. I came from a rural community. I mean, the Army was definitely a big eye opener.
Yep. No, I agree with you 100%.
And you say I don't got to apologize for myself. Well, that's just my demeanor. I mean, I'm the type of individual that I will look out for you. I will take care of you. First minute that you do like that, then you don't have my trust and respect. And that's a no-go in my station.
Yeah,
So,
you got a heart of gold, Kevin. And I'm proud to call you my fellow veteran friend.
as are you, Battle. As a good individual, a good person that I can look up to and respect and come to for advice. Because I mean, as much as we're still out of the Army, but we're still brothers in arms. So.
Right. I agree with Kevin 110%. I want to thank everybody for listening to this episode. Hopefully you're subscribing. Hopefully you're liking. Hopefully you're sharing to help us build a community to stop 22 by sharing the stories of what we've been through, by maybe getting some laughs, maybe sharing some tears, maybe sharing some, oh, no, you won't believe this story. But it's been a real pleasure talking to you, Kevin.
Thanks, Battle. It's been an honor talking to you. And just FYI, I mean, I'm sure you've seen my things on Facebook as well, but Adam challenged me to the 22 a day, and honestly, that's been most exercise I've gotten in 4 months, considering they shut down the gyms on the Air Force Academy to civilians and retirees. So
right. Well, I would
the only exercise I've been doing so far. So
I'd love to see that 22 push-up challenge turned into text 22 veterans, reach out to 22 people you know a day, and let's make the new challenge where we make a connection, because push-ups, you know, may help build the gun show, but push-ups don't do a whole lot for helping the guys and the gals that are in a bad place. But thanks for sharing that a lot. All right, everybody. Again, this has been fun and enlightening, and I thank you for tuning in. This is Veterans Rant, Rattle, and Roll. Sergeant First Class Retired. See, I'm so tired, I can never say who I am. But you know what I am? I'm out.